What's up, guys? So I just finished a game called Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man. Not only did I finish it, I just platinumed it, and it's the first game I ever platinumed, and that's just to show you my commitment to this game and how much I enjoyed it. This is an open world game, and it's the best freaking superhero video game ever, right there with Arkham City. I can't really give one to the other. I love Arkham City, but I love Spider-Man, and I think the sequel of Spider-Man is going to be even greater. All these people giving this game an 8 out of 10, or like IGN giving it an 8.7 out of 10. Like, really, IGN? Like, what are you doing? It's a freaking 9 out of 10 game. Easily. 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. I have never wanted to explore a world more than in this game. New York City is filled. I'm talking filled. I'm talking breathing, livable, just super detailed. You got J. Jonah Jameson talking on the radio, talking shit to Spider-Man. You have Spider-Man collecting these backpacks, which was really interesting because there's like a memento in each backpack that kind of gives background and history of what he's been doing since 15 years old to now. He's 23 years old. So I really related to Peter Parker, and the voice actor who plays Peter Parker is the same guy that plays Sasuke in Naruto, and he's amazing. Like, this is the best Peter Parker I've ever seen. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the writing, his voice, his quips is just on point, and how he cares about other people is just on point. And I really love the decisions they made in this video game. I really love the character designs. The villains look cool. They still look iconic, but they also have tweaks to them to make them look more modern. I love seeing different incarnations of villains and superheroes, and Spider-Man just did a great job of that. Insomniac Games really put their heart into it. There's a lot of money and detail that was placed into this game, and it really paid off. The writing is just superb, because you could have got a Spider-Man game, and you know, of course it's going to be fun. You're swinging around, you're fighting, like, that's granted. But the storyline is the biggest deal, and this game does not disappoint on the storyline. I'm telling you, they take some chances, they take some risks, and they take the story to places I never thought they would go, and I'm very impressed, and I was very surprised. And I also want to say that them including all the suits, there's 28 different suits in this game, was like mind-boggling. Like, what? Like, I had no idea they were going to do that. They went above and beyond, and each suit has its own power, and each suit just looks beautiful in this lighting and the graphics. Like, I'm just hyping this game up. Insomniac, like, man, they can do no wrong after this game. Insomniac makes great games, but this game is probably their greatest. I remember seeing so many commercials about the game and people hyping it up, saying it's better than Batman Arkham City, like, real quick. I'm like, dude, the game hasn't even came out yet. Like, what are y'all doing? Stop hyping this game up so much. It's gonna fail because you guys are making it seem like it's gonna be the greatest game of all time. And guess what? It might be. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the greatest game of all time, but it does live up to the hype, like, completely. And I was very astonished and amazed by Marvel's Spider-Man. I think a lot of people are nitpicking this game a little too much, and it's one of the greatest games of this year, and you should definitely check it out. And I'm so glad they made this game. And guess what? There's going to be a freaking sequel. Trust me. There's going to be a sequel, so you want to cash in on this game and get excited, because I'm excited for the sequel, and I would love to talk about some things. Well, fuck it. I'm going to talk about it right now. Spoiler alert, if you haven't played the game, if you haven't beaten it, stop watching. If you don't care, if you're not going to play the game, if you don't have a PS4, I'm so sorry for you. Keep listening, because I'm just going to talk about what happens in this game. Aunt May dies. What the fuck? Yo, Aunt May dies. Like, they kill her off. That's crazy. Like, this is the saddest Peter Parker story ever, up there with Gwen Stacy's death. Like, Aunt May, this is even worse than Gwen Stacy's death. Aunt May dies. And the crazy part is that she has this infection that's infected the whole city, and Spider-Man has the only antidote to it. But he can't use it for her, because if he does, the antidote is gone, and he won't be able to save everybody else in New York City. So he literally just sits there and sits on her, and she just passes away. You hear the flat line, and Peter Parker's just crying. And it was just the saddest thing ever. And I was just like, Insomniac, you motherfucker, you guys are bold. That was cool. Like, Aunt May never dies. I've never seen Aunt May die in anything before. Like, I thought that was brilliant. I also really loved how they handled Dr. Octopus. Like, he is the big baddie of the Sinister Six. In the trailers, they kind of hint at, like, a bigger baddie who's, like, kind of guiding everybody, and you don't really know who it is. Well, it's Doc Ock, and he's badass in this game. Otto Octavius, I love the relationship he has with Peter Parker. You know, he's your friend the whole game. He's like your mentor. You look up to him, and then he starts messing around with that chip that connects his limbs to the 4 legs on his back, and it kind of makes him deranged, and he hates Osborn. He hates Norman Osborn. There's a good reason for hating Norman Osborn that ties into lead Mr. Negative's story, but you know, I don't want to talk about that. Doc Ock is just dope as hell in this game. All the villains are really dope as hell in this game, but Doc Ock steals the show. Another aspect that I really love, and the reason why I know there's going to be a sequel, is because in the end, this is big. So Harry Osborn has been missing this whole game. You only see like little video clips of him talking to Peter through the research stations, and you don't really know where he's at. You just know that he went to Europe. He went to Europe for a big trip, but it's kind of a front. He didn't really go to Europe. He went into a tank because he's got this genetic disease that killed his mother, and now it's killing him. And Norman Osborn's like, hell nah, I ain't gonna let that happen. That's my boy. So he puts all of his resources and money into a cure, into figuring out how to save his son. And that cure ends up being the Devil's Breath, which is what infected Aunt May and infected the whole city. It's actually not what they wanted to make, so that kind of sucks. But it's a learning thing for him, because now Norman Osborn is looking for other ways to cure his son. And at the very end, he goes to visit his son, and his son is in this tank, and it's like a green tank, and there's some kind of alien symbiote in there with fucking Harry Osborn. And at first I was like, what is that sticky shit? Like, what is that goo? Like, what is that symbiote? Like, I thought it was symbiote, but I was like, Harry's never been involved with symbiote. Like, not that I know of. I mean, I think there is a comic where he gets met with it. So I was interested. I was like, what's going on here? And Norman says to him, I love you, son, and puts his hand on the window. And Harry is kind of like, you know, fucked up. Like, dude. He can't talk. He's unconscious. But you see the symbiote reach out, like, to meet him on the glass. And you're just like, what? And it ends like that. And I was like, motherfucker! I don't know. Super excited about it. Like, I love where they're taking it. Insomniac is doing something original, and that's all I can ask for. Something memorable, and that's all I want in a game about Spider-Man. So I'm excited for the second one. So make sure y'all get this one. Check it out. Play it. Give it a 10 out of 10. Easily. Spider-Man. Peace.